the millionaire blueprint that no one talks about and no one gets taught that I want to share with you today. So I'm going to be teaching you guys the exact strategy that I'm following to become a millionaire. I'm not there yet. I'll show you where I'm at right now with my journey and the exact strategy I've been following for the past 5-10 years now, or 7-8 years now. And what's working for me? It's working. I'll show you the results. I'll show you the progress. I'll show you how much I've got in my investments, how much I'm investing into them, how I'm doing that, how I'm structuring that, and the strategy behind it. Because we don't get taught this in school, and I want to show you what's working well for me and my family to set ourselves up financially so we can have more lifestyle, freedom, impact, and a life on our terms. So if you're new to my content, thank you for joining me. My name is Lewis Huckstep. I'm a coach. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I've written the book. It's called The Inspired Life Method. I run events in person. I do content. I have programs. And I love helping people find their life's purpose, heal from their trauma, their triggers, their limitations, and create a life on their terms with their finances, with their relationships, with their business, their careers. So I like to do the inner healing spiritual stuff and the practical tactical stuff. So I like to blend those two worlds together. So with that being said, I'm going to rock and roll. So we're going to talk money today. Actually, before I do that, I just showed you a screenshot. I'm playing the video today. I'll show you my screen today. So you can watch the video version of this conversation on YouTube is the best way to do it. Please do so. Before I do that, if you guys could just literally like this video and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. It helps out more than you realize. It's going to share it with more people. I get to help more people. That's my only request for today. With that being said, let's begin. So I'm going to show you guys where I'm at transparently. So this is a little screenshot of our investment account, so our stock holdings. I'm not going to show obviously the whole thing for any scammers that are out there. But right now we have $313,000 in holdings. There's $6,559 in the account to invest more, to buy more. And so far we've profited $75,000. So I've gained $75,000 of growth from doing this strategy. We also keep minimum $20,000 as a safety bucket. And right now that's up to $50,000. So we have $50,000 in cash, which is outside of what you're seeing right here. But this is the active investment strategy of what we're doing, okay? So I think I started this, 6 or 7 years ago now. And I've just been doing what I'm going to share with you guys today to get to this point. And by all means, it's not $1 million, but we are on our way there. We're at the sort of 1/3 of the way mark. And you'll see how the compound interest really kicks into it. So the first thing I want to share with you is the concept of compound interest. So I believe Warren Buffett says it's the eighth wonder or ninth wonder of the world. It is phenomenal. If you haven't heard this example, it is insane. So it's a golf analogy. So pretend we're playing a game of golf and we wanted to make it more interesting. So we had a little bet and say, hey, let's make this game fun. Let's bet 10 cents per hole on the game of golf. Not a lot of money, just makes it a bit more enticing, a bit of money on the line, right? But to make it more interesting, let's say each hole we double. So if no one that's played golf, there's 18 holes on a full round of golf. So we're going to do 10 cents a hole, but each round it doubles. So it goes from 10 to 20, etc. It's like 10 cents, 20 cents. It's like, what's it going to end up being? 20 bucks, 30 bucks, not a lot of money. That's okay. Let's have some fun. But let's play it out because you'll see how dramatic it shifts. So let's go through it. Hole 1, I'm sharing my screen if you're not watching my screen. So hole 1, we go from 10 cents, then it goes to 20 cents, 40 cents, then 80 cents, then $1.60. Then it goes to $3.20, $6.40, $12.80, $25.60. So we're at the 9th hole. So we're halfway there. We're at the halfway point, and it's already gone up to $25. Like that's already some insane growth, but it's still not a ton of money. We're not talking thousands of dollars. We're talking less than $30, $25, right? Again, what do you think right now, if you haven't seen this before, what do you think it's going to finish on? By the 18th hole. So we're halfway there. We've gone from 10 cents to $25 and 60 cents. What do you think by the 18th hole? What do you reckon it's going to be? Is it going to be $100, $300, $500, $1,000? What do you think? Let's keep on. Let's play it out. So on the 10th hole, it goes from $25 to $51.20. To the 11th hole, it's at $102.40. The 12th hole, $204. The 13th hole, $409. The 14th hole, $819. So we've gone from $25 to $820 in like 5 holes. So it's growing quickly, but we've got 4 holes to go. Let's see how we go. The 15th hole, 1,638. The 16th hole, 3,276. The 17th hole, 6,553. And the 18th hole, 13,107. Look how much that grew. Look, at the halfway point, 50% of the way there, it was at $25. At the end of it, it was $13,000. That is the power of compound interest, compound growth. This is what, again, we don't get taught at school. So the best way to grow your wealth is to use the power of compound interest. Let the compounding do the heavy lifting for you. This is the power that I want you to understand by doing this strategy. So something I want to share with you. If you haven't read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, please go read the book. Now, I actually recommend reading his two of the books. The first book is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The second one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad's Cashflow Quadrant. So this is actually the Cashflow Quadrant. So I'm not going to go, there's literally full books that break this down in a ton of detail. I'm just going to give you a broad overview if you've never seen them before. So I'm sharing my screen again. Watch the screen if you're not watching the video version of this podcast. So E are employees. So there's 4 squares of the quadrant. There's E, S, B, and I. On the left side of the quadrant is E and S's. E's are employees. S is self-employed. So self-employed means you run your own business, but you are the business. S can also, in the book, he says S can stand for specialty. So maybe a really high paying job or like a celebrity or an athlete. But it's the common factor of the left-hand side. It's reliant on your time. If you stop working, you stop earning. On the right side of the quadrant, B is for business owners. And the difference between a self-employed and a business owner is the business runs or operates with little to no work from the person who owns it. It's a real asset. If you're like, for me, my coaching business, I am self-employed. Now, I used to own gyms, if anyone knows my background. And when I hired myself out of the last gym, I did 1 hour of work and it paid me money. So 1 hour and it gave me, and the rest I didn't have to do anything. I worked on other things and it paid me. So I would put that one over here. So if you are reliant, if you were to stop and your business stops working, or you have to do like like 20 plus hours, 10 hours a week more, you're probably still not self-employed. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong with this. By the way, there's no one's better than the other. They all have their pros and cons. And then the I is investors. So this is where your investments grow for you. So the key to have wealth and financial independence is to use where you're at, but get over to the B and I quadrant, because these two are not reliant on your time. You make money while you sleep. You have systems, people, investments growing, making you money without you having to trade time for money. Because if you are constantly trading time for money, if you stop earning or stop working, you stop earning. So there's no freedom here. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he calls this the rat race, where you always have to keep working to pay the bills. Now, again, we start here. I haven't met anyone who is born straight into investments, unless you're from a trust fund baby or something like that, where people who earned it themselves, and I've come from nothing, so you guys know, my mum and dad split over money. We had I've got memories of digging through the couch for money to pay bills. We come from fucking nothing, broke, dead ass, nothing. So for people like majority of the world who don't come from trust fund babies, most of us are going to start on the left-hand side. Employees become self-employed. Then we're going to learn the skills to become business owners and investors. So just go learn this. My suggestion for you guys is go read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cashflow Quadrant, and the first one. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then his second one. It gives you a lot more information. I actually teach this in my trainings. I give my version of them and give you more detail. But just for today, if you're new to this work, really understand this. If you're on the left-hand side, if you're trading time for money, you need to start using your money and skills and time to get over to the right-hand side. Whether you build a business and scale yourself out of it, if you want to, by the way. I love my business. I actually don't plan on scaling myself out of my coaching business because I love my business. I'm a coach. I love doing the coaching. I don't think I'm going to stop doing that. I love it. But also I use the money to then invest into investments, which is what I showed you at the start of the podcast, okay? So go read the books. Come work with me if you want my version of the teaching, because I do teach this in my work as well. But it's really powerful. Go read the books. Really, really cool stuff. Now, I want to show you guys a strategy of how I can guarantee that you become a millionaire. As long as you've got time. So it's either going to be you, depending how old you are, or your kids. Just literally get your kids to do the same thing, okay? So what you can do, literally go to Google and just Google compound interest calculator. There's heaps here. I'm just going to use this one. This one comes up. I'm in Australia, so obviously this Australian one pops up, but there's heaps here. They all kind of do the same thing. I'm not going to test them all out. I'm just going to use this one, okay? So we click on here. And it's essentially, you get to put in numbers to figure out the compound interest and the total number that comes back. So I'm going to put in $1,000. So $1,000 as an initial deposit. Now, if you're fucking resourceful, you can come up with $1,000. Sell something, work for someone, do some Uber eating, sell some shit from home, sell some clothes, do some extra work, ask for an extra shift. You can be resourceful to get $1,000. Everyone can. I guarantee. If you're watching this, you have access to the fucking internet, so you can do that. Now, I'm going to do regular deposits of $200 a month, $50 a week. Again, if you're resourceful, if you're working hard, if you are disciplined, you can do that. $200 a week. $200 a month, $50 a week. And I suggest doing much more than that, which I'll touch on at the end. So monthly deposits of $200. Now the compound interest. So I'm doing based on the stock market, the S&P 500. That's where most of my investments go into. I'm still learning how to diversify, but this is just what I'm currently doing. So it compounds annually over. So I'm going to do 50 years. And again, this is where time is like the best asset you've got. Use time. So I'm going to do annually for 50 years. And as of right now, historically speaking, the S&P 500, the stock market, has grown by 10% per year. 10% per year. So it's not crazy returns, not like 50% returns, 30% returns, but it's consistent over the last 100 plus years of 10%. So again, I just want to show you $1,000 to start, $50 a week, $200 a month. It compounds at 10% per year for 50 years. What do you reckon? How much money do you reckon we're going to be left with just on these numbers? Just think about it in your head, because it blows my mind the number you're about to see. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to show you guys now. So we started with $1,000. The regular deposits, you put in 120 grand. And the interest you made is $2.7 million. In total, just under $3 million for a $1,000 deposit and $50 a week. So as long as you can live for 50 years, or your kids will, in the next 50 years, you're going to have millions of dollars. But literally, what if we drop that down to 30 years? You'd have $400,000. Still not bad, but not $3 million. Isn't that insane? For $50 a week. It's like, if you're disciplined enough, you can do this. You can resourceful enough. You learn the skills. You can do this. And this blows my mind. So this is like, so from what I've got before, from the numbers I've got, say I put, and this blows my mind because I come from fucking nothing. Absolute dog shit, nothing. So say for me, so right now we've got $320,000. I showed you that earlier. So I've got this number plus this number is 320, a little bit more now, but let's say $320,000. I pretty much bang on that. And I'm obviously going to continue to put money into it. But say I did nothing, zero. I didn't put a single dollar in, so I just keep what's there. I just keep it in the market. Assuming, by the way, the market doesn't blow up and we turn to shit. But that's a conversation for later, right? But say I did nothing. In the next 50 years, I'm going to have, or my family will have, $37 million. Isn't that insane? And I come from nothing. That blows my mind. So if I just keep doing my strategy, and what we do, I'll tell you my strategy now. So we're getting into strategy. So those are the three things I want you to understand. The power of compound interest, understand Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, and go play around with a compound interest calculator. Just play around. Put in like, how much money could you invest right now? And how much right now could you commit to investing per week, per month? And just see what it looks like. It's insane. But here's a couple lessons and practical stuff I want to give you guys. Number one, how do we make this happen? How do we bring this into reality? Number one, we want to minimize your living expenses, especially at the start. When you're starting, you want to minimize your expenses so you can live. You want to live, okay? Get by. I used to live at home with mum. I'd work a job, start business, live off dog shit and food. I would just get by. No partying, no drinking, no lifestyle. Live. Minimize expenses as much as you fucking can. And it's easy to do it when you're younger. Because you hopefully, now some of you guys will have kids, but when you're younger, you probably don't have kids. You wouldn't have kids when you were born. So at some point you had no kids. So you had more time. Because the longer you get your energy levels, because health goes down, you're probably going to have kids, family, you're going to have more commitments. So especially the younger you start, the easier this becomes. So if you're just starting, minimize your expenses as much as you can. Cancel your fucking subscriptions. And now there's a caveat to that because of the second point you're about to hear. But minimize expenses. That's what you want to do. Minimize expenses. So that's step one. So do what you do. I would say no new fucking clothes. Buy a Goodwill, secondhand shop. Buy discount foods, if you can, enough to survive. No partying, no drinking, no lifestyle, none of that bullshit. Minimize. If this is what you want. Again, if you don't want this, don't listen to me. Just go live it up. YOLO. Live your fucking life. But if you want to set yourself up financially, You can do that stuff later, but you got to get the ball rolling. Remember, a plane uses 80% of its fuel to take off. So you want to get the momentum going at the start. So that's the first tip. Second tip. Now, again, this is where it's a little bit different. There's a bit of a gray area from the first step I just said, minimizing your expenses, to the second step. Bit of gray area. Because the second step is invest into yourself. Because you want to learn how to earn more income. By investing into yourself for personal growth and professional growth. Working with coaches or mentors or reading books or doing masterminds, going to seminars, doing things to improve you, to learn the skills of how to make more money, how to market, how to build a business, how to be more confident, how to have better energy, how to be better with your health, all the things. There's Alex Hormozi shares a story really well. He said he was at this event and this guy was at the front and he used this clothes. It was really good. He had this woman. He asked this woman in the crowd, how much money do you want to be earning? And she said $1 million. So he wrote out $1 million on the board. He says, how much are you earning right now? She said $50,000. So he wrote out $50,000. And then he said, $1 million minus $50,000 equals $950,000. And he said, it costs you $950,000 per year not knowing how to make $1 million per year. And it's like big slap across your face. Because how to make more money is a skill. Now, there's mental and emotional parts that go into it, your beliefs, your perceptions, your trauma, and all that stuff, like the work that I love helping people with. But it's a skill. How do you market? How do you sell? How do you create value discrepancy of what you're selling, how much it costs you to make it, and how much you sell it for, and how do you give it to the most amount of people possible? Business. It's a skill. So you don't want to minimize expenses and just invest very little amounts, which is better than nothing. Start with what you've got, which you'll hear one of those steps soon. But ultimately, increase your income, your capacity to earn more income. That's why Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad was so powerful when I learned it. When I was younger, my goal was to become a high school teacher, and I'm still a teacher. I just do it in different ways now, right? I do it through the way I do it now. But that vehicle, because there was an E on the cash flow quadrant, I was an employee. My income earning capacity is very limited. I could get a pay rise every couple of years, but it's not substantial. Where in business, you could add a zero onto the end of your income. In fact, multiple zeros if you're good enough, once you learn the skills right. So that's why the vehicle of choice is so powerful, okay? So, minimize expenses, number one. Number two, invest into you. So whatever you're earning right now from your job, go get a job. Here, I'm going to fucking job. Go get some income. Go get something to pay the bills to live. Everything above living, reinvest back into you. Skills, masterminds, classes, books, podcasts, programs, seminars. Learn the things that you want to learn to help you move towards what you want to do. And in this conversation, it's going to be around wealth building, which would be how to become a better, confident, authentic, expressed, healthier, healed version of you, and the skills of how to make more money, which would probably be business, marketing, selling, all those things. So first two tips. Third tip, get a safety bucket. Now, you can kind of blend these towards it. You might have a bit of both. You might do the safety bucket first if you want to. You might do it sort of simultaneously. A safety bucket. Minimum $1,000. Put $1,000 in a safety bucket. A safety bucket, now the term that I've taught from a mentor years ago, was have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a bank account. You sleep very easily at night. So when the car breaks down, when the fucking washing machine breaks, we've got animals, we've got 2 sausage dogs and a cat. Our cat loves the vet, and we've had some very expensive fucking vet visits. But it's like when you have random life things pop up, it's not going to rock you that much. You don't have to freak out and all those things because you've got a safety bucket there. So I keep it at $20,000. Now I'm starting to rise it because I'm starting to getting more money to invest elsewhere and all that stuff. But mine was 20 grand. So $20,000 as a safety bucket, and it doesn't go below that. Okay, and you got to keep the discipline. But you use it for when the time pops up. So we have a medical emergency, like our cat had a very expensive vet bill recently. It was a couple grand. It's like, great, safety bucket's there. That's for a reason. Boom, let's go pay for it. And then let's top up the safety bucket. Beautiful. So you want to get a safety bucket, minimum $1,000. Start with 1,000. Because again, I'm trying to go from starting point. Because I started from nothing. I did not get hand-me-downs. I came from dog shit, nothing with money. Okay? I was born on Norfolk Island. If anyone knows that, go Google it. Norfolk Island, very low economical place on Norfolk Island, especially for the locals, right? And I come from there. So starting point, minimize expenses. Second, start investing into yourself. Third, get yourself a safety bucket. Start with $1,000. Then aim to get 3 to 6 months, ideally 12 months of living expenses in a bank account, okay? In cash, okay? So you can use it when shit hits the fan, you get a flat tire, your car breaks down, you have a medical bill, you're good, okay? Third tip is to start to invest. So this is after that. So you got a safety bucket. You're going to continue to invest into yourself Now, this is the dance between, it's a personal choice, this one. All of this is a personal choice, but especially this one, in my opinion. It's the dance between investing more into yourself and your business and the growth versus investing into your investments. So the rule I got taught, I think it was from Tony Robbins, minimum, if you have this discipline, and this is what the one thing that I've done over the past 7 years that's led to what we've got in our bank account, in that investment account right now, this one skill has got me there. No matter how much money you make, whether it's a fucking dollar, $100, $1,000, $100,000, does not matter. Minimum 10% goes into investments. Minimum. That one discipline will change your financial history. It will shift your family's history, your family tree financially. I fucking guarantee you. And I want to say this with so much fucking certainty because it's working. I come from nothing, guys. I have fucking vivid memories of my mum and dad fighting, yelling, screaming at each other, and finances were underneath the root cause to that conversation. If you develop this standard for yourself right now, maybe you're able to do this now, maybe you can't, and that's okay. Maybe you need to do the first couple of steps. But if you have the discipline that no matter what happens, every part of income that comes in, whether it's $1,000, $1, $10, $100, $10,000, $100,000, doesn't matter. However amount of money comes into your bank account through whatever means, you put minimum 10% towards investments, you will set yourself up. Whether it's the $50 a week, whether it's $5,000 a week. Now, again, you want to dance between those first, the invest into yourself versus investments, because Alex Mosey says this really well. He says, don't do the S&P 500, which is the stock market. Do the S&Me 500. Invest into yourself. So it's like if you had 10 grand, would you rather put it into the S&P 500 or put it into $10,000 worth of skills and learnings and mindset for you to go earn $1 million, right? So it's that dance between reinvest into yourself versus put it into actual investments. So again, 10% minimum. So sometimes like me and my wife, we're starting to earn more income. Like we're earning like $15,000+ a week now. I'm super grateful to be at that point. And that's a reflection of the impact that I'm making to others and the gift I'm giving and the business and skills I'm learning along the way. It's like sometimes we have a really good week. Like the other week we made like 30 grand in a week. And like that's mind-blowing money to me. Like again, it come from nothing. And we live off like 5 to 10% of that. Like we live off maybe $1,500, $2,000 on that. And like the rest of it, straight into investments. Like I don't need to spend more. Like I couldn't go, I'm a little bit less risk. I've got like a very low risk tolerance. I'm like less risky. Like I've got friends of mine who are in business who like put it all on the line and they go all in. They're probably going to be either a mega success or a mega failure, but I'm like low risk. So I like to sort of take my time. I'm very low risk in that sense. So I could have put that 30 grand straight back into business and more marketing, more all that stuff, but I don't really do that. So that's just me personally. But you'll find your balance of your risk tolerance and all those things. But honestly, guys, if you do this, you will set yourself up, your family up, your whole family tree and family history will be shifted by doing these skills. I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. What takeaways did you have? I'm not going to be sharing you guys the specific things that I'm buying. I'm buying S&P 500 index funds. I'm not going to go specific into that. I may in the future. If you guys want that, comment down below. I may be open to that. Because again, this is not financial advice. I should have started with that. This is not financial advice. But this shit, it changed my life. Like to see that number that we're at right now, and we're only like 7 years into it. Like to see that if I do zero, if me and my wife do zero, we're going to have $37 million. What the fuck? Like that's insane. So I hope this helped out. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts below. If you'd like more tactical, practical stuff like finance, business, marketing shit, I think I'm starting to enjoy a little bit more of this stuff. It's normally purpose and trauma and healing and all that stuff, which I love as well. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this stuff, guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe. If you'd like to work with me personally and get all my actual step-by-step frameworks and everything else, there's a free trial and a one-on-one call link down below. You'll get a one-on-one call with me and a free trial to my coaching. Go grab a copy of my book. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye.